What's going on, everybody? I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller, and today we're doing yet another 2023 wrap-up episode. If you haven't seen my list of my favorite sports watches of 2023, what are you doing? Click the link in the description below. I'll put it in the corner somewhere. Watch that, and then come back here. But today we're doing more of a general wrap-up. I'm picking a bunch of genres of watches, and I'm telling you my favorites, and then at the end, I'm going to tell you my least favorite watch that I have reviewed this year. If you can guess that watch, leave it in the comment section below. I'll pick the first person that guessed correctly, and I'll send you some T3 swag. So guess right now, what's my least favorite watch of this year? But we're going to be taking a look at my favorite everyday watch, my favorite dive watch, my favorite field watch, my favorite dress watch, my favorite chronograph, and my favorite watch that really surprised me this year. And then again, at the end, the watch I hated the most. So without further ado, let's get into it. It is 1:14 p.m. Let's get down to business. So the first watch that I want to take a look at, that's my favorite, would be an everyday watch, and it's from Pittsman, and it is their Pittsman 2. Now this is not a very common micro brand. They're small even in the micro brand space, and you can tell by their very simple watch model naming system. It's the Pittsman and then the Pittsman 2. And then they might have some other things that they've come out since I've reviewed this. But it is something that I truly think competes with, the Oyster Perpetuals, the Aquaterras, people that are looking for an everyday, sure, sporty watch, but something that's very versatile, right? It's not a clear diver. It's not a clear dress watch. It's something like an OP that can be refined, but sporty, durable, yet still sophisticated. This had a 100-meter water resistance rating with a threaded crown, sapphire crystal, impeccable finishing. It was so nice that after I reviewed it, my dad's like, hey, you think you can get me one of those? And so I got him one, and he actually wears it very often when he's making rounds at the hospital. My dad's a physician, so he loves that watch. And so I got to put it on my list of, honestly, my favorite everyday watch that I reviewed this year. Moving on, my favorite diver of 2023. This has got to be a watch I've raved about since I heard the media release. It's the Citizen ProMaster 37mm. These are actually 36.5 millimeters, so even smaller than how they're listed on paper. This is a full-fledged, legit dive watch. I think it even has an ISO rating, but it is wearable, more manageable for people that have more slender wrists. A watch that isn't super fruity and frilly for the females. Like, I'm so sick of females being left with these kind of gaudy, gross, frilly, again I say the word fruity, watches, when in reality they just need something that's a little bit smaller than what us guys wear. So I think it's really cool that Citizen made a watch for people of either gender that just is more manageable. And the truth is, I'm a big dude. I have just over 7.5-inch wrists, and I'm still getting myself one of these because I enjoy wearing smaller watches. Just a personal preference. Next up, my favorite field watch of 2023. And this one is going to be somewhat controversial because it's not a field watch at all. And for my regular viewers, you would know I actually just made an episode talking about this conundrum where my favorite field watch isn't one. And it is my SBBN 031 Tuna. This is a watch that I've gone on some trips with, and I've gone on a lot of hikes with, and I realized, yeah, it's not very low profile like a field watch should be. And yes, it has a day date complication actually, and most field watches don't. And yes, it is a enormous hockey puck of a watch with a huge metal shroud, but it lays very flat on the wrist, and it is great with that single piece strap, and it just feels like a badass watch that I enjoy wearing when I'm out in the field. And again, for me as a civilian, in the field is just whenever I'm outside playing around, going on hikes and going camping. It's just a watch that I really, really love. And I know people are going to complain, but that is my favorite field watch of 2023. Next up, a watch that I actually didn't get my hands on this year, but that I did make an episode about, and it's my favorite dress watch of 2023. It was released this year, and it's the newest Japanese exclusive Anderson Genève Jumping Hour. This is a watch with hand-carved guilloche patterns all over the place. Crazy finishing. Anderson was a watchmaker that I used to talk smack about because he makes or made a lot of weird erotic watches, like things that I would never wear and I don't understand why anybody would wear. Listen, I make jokes about anime titties all the time. I'm a big fan. It's not a problem that it's like naughty, that I'm like, oh, I don't like boobies. No, I love them. It's just that I don't know why anyone would want these kind of grotesque X-rated like things on your wristwatch. I don't know. I think it's a novelty. I think rich dudes just buy it because it's funny. But, you know, when you look at Anderson's other watches that he's produced, he is an incredible watchmaker. His team over there, you know, they don't make a ton of watches, but the ones that they do that aren't erotic are incredibly impressive. And Anderson Genève Jumping Hour watches are great. And this Japanese exclusive, is probably my favorite of the bunch and easily my favorite dress watch of 2023. Next up, my favorite chronograph of 2023, and this is an obvious one. It's my Doxa Sub 200 Seagraph 2. This is the Caribbean iteration, so it has the blue dial, blue bezel. Badass watch. I mean, I could have put this as my favorite dive watch of 2023, but I had another watch that I wanted to talk about. This is just a really cool, proper diver's chronograph. For instance, I was wearing it this morning when we were walking Hachi, my dog, and like it was raining outside, and I had to remember, I was like, wait, which watch did I put on this morning? And I looked down and it was my Doxa, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm fine. Because, you know, you never know. I have so many watches and I enjoy wearing like a ton of watches. Like for instance, I'll go through like 4 different watch changes before noon. So it's like I could be wearing my 1950s like Hamilton like doctor's watch or something. Actually, that might be older than that. I think it's from the 40s, my Secron. But still, like, I could have that on, and then all of a sudden I need to walk the dog and it's raining out, and I'm like, oh man, I just ruined this watch. But luckily, I had my Doxa on, and it's just such an awesome watch. And again, you never know how useful a chronograph is until you get one on the wrist, and then you find yourself timing everything. So it's just a fun little toy to have. But yeah, that Doxa, my favorite chronograph of 2023. Next up, a watch that surprised me. This is a watch that when the company engaged with me and asked if I would do a Micro Ran Monday review, I looked and I was like, of course, I'll review anything, but I'm gonna give my honest opinion about it. And you know, every watchmaker that sends me a watch has to agree to that. It's going to be my honest opinion. If I hate the watch and I won't wear it, I'm gonna tell my audience that. And when I saw pictures of this, I was like, this is not something I would ever wear. And then I got it like in the office, and although I still probably like wouldn't reach for that immediately if I saw it on the shelf somewhere, after playing with it, I was like, whoa, this is actually really cool. It is very, very cool. It is something unique, like truly unique. It is very different from pretty much every watch that gets sent to me every week. And it's something that I would wear, even if it is kind of a novelty. It's a badass feat of engineering. The presentation, the time telling, it's very, very fun. And that's how watchmaking and watch wearing should be. It should be fun. And this is definitely the watch that surprised me the most in 2023. Again, the Atwalk Cobra. Or Atawalk Cobra. Every watch I get, I mispronounce the name, so just forgive me. All right, and now it's time to talk about the watch I hated the most in 2023. The Equus Merovingian. This is a watch that was like $250, I think. Integrated bracelet, flat industrial bezel, rose gold tone. The one thing I liked is that kind of chocolate dial. I think that looked good with the rose gold, but the bracelet was terrible. Had a very, very basic 2-hand quartz movement. It was just like a rattle can. It felt like, it felt very cheap. And after looking at all the watches that I've looked at as my time here on YouTube, you know, you really kind of get a good perspective of what you can get within certain price ranges. And $250 for that seemed incredibly unreasonable. Not a lot of people watched that review, only like 4,000. It says 4.5K views, but I'm gonna link it in the corner here, and I'll put it in the description below. If you guys can watch that, you can see what I'm talking about. It's just easily the watch I hated the most. And I said that in the title. I was like, I think the title is "Not Every Micro Brand is a Winner." And this definitely wasn't one. But I mean, that's the risk you run sending me a watch to review. The first thing I say is, yeah, you know, I'm gonna be honest. So we appreciate your support in sending us watches, but it's going to be an honest review. And if I don't like it, I'm gonna say I don't like it. So props to them for agreeing and sending me a watch and standing by their product. But you know, they did make the list today. Unfortunately, it was kind of on the negative side. And I don't know if I mentioned this up top. I also wanted to mention my favorite digital watch of 2023. And this, I didn't know if I was going to add on the list, but it is something that I wear every single day. And it's something that I've spoken about and reviewed in 2023, and I think it deserves to be on the list. So as kind of a little bonus, we're gonna talk about my favorite digital watch, and it has to be my G-Shock GBDH 2001A. And this is, again, a watch that I wear pretty much every day. My girlfriend is a weightlifter. She's a fitness nut, and so am I. We actually met at the gym, and we've been chronicling kind of our recent training on her channel. She has one episode up. If you want to go check it out, I'll leave it in the description below. Yeah, this is a watch that I wear every day because it has the heart rate monitor, it tracks my calories, it does everything that, you know, your standard fitness, you know, wrist wearing device, whether it be a Fitbit or a Whoop strap or whatever. This pretty much does everything. It has an O2 sensor, so it's you know, it's everything and more. And it's a G-Shock, so how can you beat it, right? But yeah, that's my favorite digital watch of 2023. But there you have it, guys. My list kind of summing up things that I've looked at and my opinions on 2023 watches that have come across my desk and that have been featured on the channel. But if you guys can tell me your favorite watches using these genres that I've listed out today, everyday watch, field watch, dive watch, chronograph. I'm getting a call. Digital watch, where was I? Digital watch and watch you hated most. If you can tell me all those in the comment section, yeah, we can continue the conversation there. All right, guys, there you have it. My 2023 wrap up for my favorites and I guess one least favorite. Let me know yours. I will catch you on the next one. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay blessed. I'm Jory Goodman, the time teller, and always remember, I didn't invent time. I just tell it.